deal. I have no problem answering any of them. The problem I have is after I answer them, it all gets clipped. And then once it gets clipped, then the lies start getting told, or they start shaping it and making it this and making it that. So all I'm doing is just throwing another log on the fire, and then they can make more.
Is that what you're doing? It just seems like this was a very bad move for you to make, which I'm trying to understand the process you went through in order to end up doing this festival. Like what sort of mindset were you going through when you said, "Yeah, I'll take this money from Saudi Arabia to go do this comedy special"? Like you didn't think that was going to look bad on your part? Like that wasn't a sort of idea for you? I don't believe Bill Burr is dumb enough to believe he could have did that and nobody was going to have a problem with it. Like that's hard for me to believe, but apparently he did because he did it, and now he's just like surprised at his backlash, or he knows he fucked up, and he's trying to like make it seem like it's just people just it's just a new shit to talk about. It's just a new thing to lie about. It's a new thing to smear me. No, no. I get it. That's happened sometimes with your comedy, but this has nothing to do with a joke you told that got misconstrued in a way to make you look different. This is about an action you took to take that money from Saudi Arabia and perform for that government. There's no lies or anything being made up for that. So I don't really know. I don't know what clip you think is being misconstrued or to make you look a certain way. No, it was the actions you took. Like, what do you mean? It's the actions you took for this shit. Like I don't understand, Bill. Like, what are you doing? What's up, guys? Back here again. I told you we'd be back. I told you we'd be back. You knew we were gonna come double this back. Absolutely. You knew we were gonna double back. This is on American Redact. He says he just keeps making it worse. And it's about Bill Burr. This video is from about 10 days ago. And it all stems from the Riyadh Comedy Festival. I recorded a video about a Riyadh Comedy Festival. I need to see if I posted that up or not. It's been a busy week. It's been a busy week shooting content, work is still work. So, it's been a little different. Your mind kind of forgets. I'm glad I got a planner now, so at least now I can keep track of everything I do. Anyway, besides the small talk, this is about Bill Burr. It's coming from the fact that he was one of the comedians who went to Saudi Arabia for that Riyadh Comedy Festival, where he was specifically told he can't make jokes about the Saudi government, the regime, the prince, not prince, like Prince, Prince, and also just overall, just the oppressive nature of that regime. And the fact that somebody like Bill Burr, who has said he's been very outspoken about the presidency in the United States, especially when it came to free speech and a lot of the things. The fact he would go to the Riyadh comedy festival and follow those sort of guidelines is kind of wild and very hypocritical. And only for one, I know when I say this, it's gonna sound like what the fuck am I talking about? But only for 1.5 million. The reason I say only is because somebody like Bill Burr makes multiple millions from Netflix specials he does, that Hulu special he did, and other sorts of comedy tours. Like he's not hard up for money. So the fact that he did it for that much, knowing he gets paid more to do a Netflix special, was kind of wild. That it's like, well, okay. And Dave Chappelle's the same way. Like he's made multiple millions, probably made more doing a Netflix special than he did making at this festival. So it's just kind of weird. And I guess Bill's doubling down now instead of just like understanding why people are having the sort of energy they're having towards it. He's doubling down now. So we're gonna check that out. You guys check out the description of the video for American Redact. I always put the link in the video so you can go check out the original source and support it. Give it a like. Also, give this video a like. Give it a subscribe. Share with people. Let's grow this channel. Let's keep reacting. Let's keep being light and chill over here while we react. So here we go. He just keeps making it worse.
There you go. There's for your fucking news cycle. Now go twist all of that around. But just remember, there was women at the show. Four hotties down front. Faces were not covered. Smoke shows down front.
Okay, so just because there was four women who weren't covered, that kind of eschews away the other oppressive nature of this government. First of all, there was those only four. What about the other women? The other women that weren't in that festival, that weren't at the show. That's so weird. Just like, well, these four aren't oppressed, so how's that making it? You know what I mean? That's a weird, so weird argument. Okay, Bill. Okay.
8,000 citizens is what I performed in front of. And then I had the teachers looking at me while I did it. And I also connected in a country that had just been hit by two fucking missiles, three missiles, whatever the fuck it was. So, so that's why I'm not answering your shit. Just hang in there for a minute. And when the bots get everybody mad at something else, I'll answer any and all fucking questions.
Okay. I hate when people just sum up the bots. Sometimes it is bots. This is not that case. People are really not happy about this bill. Like very much not happy about this. And it's your own fans. It's people that seen you stand up for the working man and the working class and people who are being oppressed and are being taken advantage of. When you go over to a government that does the same thing to its own people, so it's just like, how do you not see how people are having this type of energy or feeling this type of way about this? I'm so like you can't. It's not just all bots, dude. You can't just sum it up to all bots. That's really weird.
Alright, so it looks like Bill Burr just responded terribly once again to the controversy surrounding his appearance at the Riyadh Comedy Festival in Saudi Arabia, effectively digging his grave even deeper than it was before. Because this week, instead of acknowledging the core issue that his fans had with him performing there in the first place, he actually just conveniently framed himself as the victim, centering his narrative around how he feels misrepresented in the situation, saying that people are going to spread straight up lies and make the whole thing worse than it actually was. And
I mean, you went to a comedy festival for 1.5 million or 1.4 million, a little over $1 million. And Saudi Arabia has been documented for killing journalists who talk against the Saudi regime, that talk against the prince, that talk against the government. Like they are still very oppressive. I'm pretty sure women didn't get the right to drive to either 2015 or 2017, which the fact that women in Saudi Arabia within the last 10 years finally got the right to drive should already be like a red flag. Like this is wild. So it's like it's nobody's misconstruing. People know about what goes on with that government. They know what type of shady shit that they do. They know the type of like repressive. What the fuck am I trying to say? It's weird. They know the type of oppression that they commit on their citizens, and not even just the citizens, some of their immigrants that they commit oppressive nature over there, especially some, like a lot of workers' rights are being violated over in Saudi Arabia. And you stand up for workers' rights and working class. So the fact that you would go do a comedy special, entertain a regime that treats their workers the way that they do, especially their immigrant workers, is kind of nuts. Like you have to understand why people would feel some type of way about this, right, Bill? Like, but he doesn't, and it's weird. Like you can't portray yourself as a guy who's like standing up for the working man and then go perform in entertainment, basically be the jester, like the comedy jester for a regime who either does almost as equal or even worse than what our government does to their people. You know what I mean? Like, and the fact you can't see the correlation is kind of like it's kind of like lack of self awareness right here. And it's weird, dude. And you're not usually a person who lacks that type of lacks self awareness like that, Bill.
as you may have guessed, his fans found that to be extremely out of touch, because it tiptoes around what people are actually criticizing him for. Like, people are mad because a guy who built his reputation railing against corporate greed just took a fat paycheck from one of the most repressive regimes on earth. Instead of addressing that, though, he's acting like it's all internet gossip and online outrage. So, overall, in this podcast, he sounds like a guy who knows he messed.
Like that's very out of touch to think it's just online gossip. No. Like the energy you put out is going to be perceived a certain way. And the fact that you are then going to do a comedy festival for a regime like this after having that much energy for what's going on in our own country is strange. So because it's happened in another country, it seems like you're okay with it, but you're going to stand up for us, which I'm glad you are, but you're not going to have the same energy over there. That's kind of weird. Like, do they not like the people being oppressed over in Saudi Arabia? They don't matter. Like, they don't matter. Like, and it's weird. Like I didn't know a paycheck was the difference between you actually caring about the worker or not. I didn't know that was the difference.
Up, but can't bring himself to admit it.
Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for the Monday Morning Podcast for Monday, August 6, 2025. What's going on? How are ya? Oh, Jesus, how's it going in your neck of the woods there? It's not going so good in my neck of the woods. I'll tell you that. The sanctimonious is sanctimonian. Key word on the monian. Oh, Jesus. All right, here's the deal. You guys are asking me, obviously, a ton of questions about the absolute controversy, right? Here's the deal. I have no problem answering any of them. The problem I have is after I answer them, it all gets clipped. And then once it gets clipped, then the lies start getting told, or they start shaping it and making it this and making it that. So all I'm doing is just throwing another log on the fire, and then they can make more.
Is that what you're doing? It just seems like this was a very bad move for you to make, which I'm trying to understand the process you went through in order to end up doing this festival. Like how what sort of mindset were you going through when you said, "Yeah, I'll take this money from Saudi Arabia to go do this comedy special"? Like you didn't think that that was going to look bad on your part? Like that wasn't a sort of idea for you? I don't believe Bill Burr is dumb enough to believe he could have did that and nobody was going to have a problem with it. Like that's hard for me to believe, but apparently he did because he did it, and now he's just like surprised at his backlash, or he knows he fucked up, and he's trying to like make it seem like it's just people just it's just a new shit to talk about. It's just a new thing to lie about. It's a new thing to smear me. No, no. I get it. This happens sometimes with your comedy, but this has nothing to do with a joke you told that got misconstrued in a way to make you look different. This is about action you took to take that money from Saudi Arabia and perform for that government. There's no lies or anything being made up for that. So I don't really know. I don't know what clip you think is being misconstrued or to make you look a certain way. No, it was the actions you took. Like, what do you mean? It's the actions you took for this shit. Like I don't understand, Bill. Like, what are you doing?
More money. No, I'm sorry. Well, oh, no, because they care so much. That's right. Sorry, not because they're just making money. Um, but I do have to tell you, this is fascinating because I've never been in the middle of one of these fucking things. And my whole life, when I watch the news, not every fucking news stories, but there's been a lot of shit where you watch it going like, yeah, I don't know, kind of seems like that kind of fucking dick. So to finally be in the middle of it and the level of like straight up lies is just, it's wild. And I'll be honest with you, I've been off the internet for like a fucking month, but just the shit people have been sent. It's funny, you get off the internet and people still send you shit. So like these stories of like there was no women there, he just performed to the Royals. By the time they're done with this shit, they're gonna say I went over there and did a one-on-one show in a fucking tent, staring at my toes, and then I left for the head fucking guy, whoever the hell it is over there, right?
See what I mean? Like, I think, okay, this is something that's just, I notice a lot. And it's people go for like the extreme of the extreme, either the extreme DMs or the extreme comments. Some of the bottom of the barrel, like low percentage insane people to try to portray that that's everybody who's critiquing me right now. And it's kind of what Bill's doing right now, which is kind of wild. Or he's just getting a bunch of negative feedback and negative comments, which, hey, man, you're going to get pushback for performing for the Saudi government, especially if it's been a month and you just haven't been checking. Yeah, that's all going to build up. Okay. This has nothing to do with those people saying that wild ass shit. Because I guarantee you, for every one of those, there's at least 10 to 15 are just like, bro, you talked about how standing up for workers and the everyman, and then you go over to a government and a regime that is very, very oppressive to the everyman, and not just every man, damn near every man, every woman, every child. Like, I don't think you can sort of smooth your way out of performing for a government that we know has these practices. Like, you can't take away the fact that they have these practices, and then you want to go over there and entertain these people. Like, what do you want people to do? Just like not look at this? Hey, hey, look, Bill's standing up for us, so we can look past him when he performs for a Saudi government who gave him 1.5 million of blood money. Like, no, bro.
It's just so funny how he thinks, just because there were women and civilians in that crowd, that it somehow makes the whole performance a-okay. I mean, surely he's smarter than that, no? The reason people are upset with Bill Burr is because he accepted money directly from the government there, the same regime that's known for executing journalists and criminalizing homosexuality. Like, this is a country where women only recently gained the right to drive, but still face arrest for what they wear or for speaking out online. So when Burr gets on his podcast and shrugs it all off, telling us to relax because there were women there, is just beyond tone deaf and insulting. And fans are extra disappointed because Burr was supposed to be the everyman comic. The guy who stood up for normal people, roasted billionaires like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, and called out the powerful for exploiting everyone else. So to just throw
And now here he is performing for the powerful, for the oppressive, and like listen to what he just said. Like, kills journalists, criminalizes homosexuality. Women just got the right to drive, and they're still punished for what they wear and what they say online. So the women are still oppressed, and they still can't speak out because there's still some oppressive. There's still a level of oppression going on in there for women. Just because they got the right to drive doesn't mean all of a sudden the oppression against them stopped. There's still things that are held against them, and they still can't speak up about it, or they will go to prison. So the fact that you would go over there and perform for a government that would do that to his own people, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how we're supposed to contend with that. It's weird.
that all away for $1.5 million to accept Saudi state
1.5 million. All right. That was the number. I was saying 1.4, 1.4 or 1.5, but then we got it.
money directly or indirectly just to do an hour of sanitized stand-up under censorship rules. It's the kind
Oh, yeah. The thing, he was talking all about censorship and everything else. And there you go, perform from a government that censored your entire fucking set. If that's not hypocritical, I don't know what is. I don't know how you're going to sit there and complain about restricting free speech here when you literally flew over to a country that paid you 1.5 million to restrict your speech.
of move that completely undermines his persona.
Once again, I performed in an arena over there in the round. There was 8,000 people at the show.
Okay.
Okay? It was citizens. And then they had diplomats sitting down front in a nerve-wracking way for the performer to make sure that, you didn't talk about the 2 or 3 things that they said that they negotiated down to not talk about. Once
Yeah. That's. You don't have a problem with that? You, Bill Burr, how outspoken you are against governments having this level of power and this level of influence, not as on comedy, because you associate comedy with free speech. Well, a lot of comedians associate comedy with free speech as free speech war saviors. I fucking guess. Okay. But yeah, you don't have a problem with the government having diplomats in the front row making sure you don't do that? Like, that's not an issue for you at all?
again, as I said before, whoever put together the comedy festival and everything, what it did for freedom of speech over there, because like before it started, you couldn't talk about all of this stuff, and then they whittled it down to just that. And that is how, if you truly care about stuff like
So basically, hey, they said we couldn't say these things, but eventually we were able to whittle them down. Like, okay, you can't talk about this. Your speech is still being restricted, Bill. Like, I guess you're taking that as a W that if you're able to talk about some things, I bet you weren't be able to talk about them the way you would want to talk about them. Because the way you would talk about it in America, I already know be complete. I know the way they made you talk about it is not nowhere near the same the way you were talking about if you were here in America. And that's a fact, Bill. So the fact you looked at it as a W, like, hey, yo, they said we can talk about this, and this, but eventually we got down to like, okay, you can't just talk about this. Like the fact you treat that as some type of W is just, it's kind of sad, bro. Like, hey, yo, they're still restricting my speech, but I'm only getting restricted by this only one subject. Wow. Okay, Bill. W win for free speech in Saudi Arabia. I guess if that's what you want to call what that was.
Like that, you gradually move towards something more positive.
No, you don't. No, you do not. Not in not in that regime. No, you don't, Bill.
All right? I mean,
So what you just heard there is Bill Burr somehow trying to shape his performance in Saudi Arabia as a step towards free speech, which is just completely ironic, since it was directly after he admitted that he was terrified of performing for the diplomats sitting in the front row, who absolutely place censorship rules on the comics acts. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it already, but one of the comics who was set to perform there actually
Tim
canceled
Dillon.
on them and then
Oh,
leaked the censorship contract they sent her, and it had exactly
hold on. Let me full screen and see what this is. Oh, here content says artists shall not prepare or perform any material that may be considered to degrade, defame, or bring into public disrepute, contempt, scandal, embarrassment, or ridicule. A. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, including its leadership, public figures, culture, or people. B. The Saudi royal family, legal system, or government, and any religion, religious tradition, religious figure, or religious practice. Yeah, Bill, this looks so much like a step towards free speech. I'm wondering which one of these things he was able to whittle down to just one. Because he said it was a couple things. So he said it was about three things. So here we go. I'm wondering which one he was able to get whittled down to just one. Does he say he got it to about one? So I'm wondering which one of these things were allowed to be joked about. I'm so serious. Because I'm looking at all this. I'm like, I swear to you, no, they didn't. I'm looking at this right now and knowing that regime and looking at this, I'm wondering which one was able to be let slide because I don't think there was anything they were allowed to let slide from this list. I thought they were about to say Tim Dillon because they got really Tim Dillon. He was making a joke, like he was making a joke saying he was okay with the slavery over there. He would hype it up. He said you would pay him extra money, he'd hype it. He doesn't care. He's like, if you pay me this money, I will ignore your oppressive regime acts. I will ignore it. I will give not a single shit. But nah, I wonder which one of these things they let Bill slide with. I don't think it was any other. I don't think it was any of them. Yeah, this is such a step towards free speech, Bill. I swear, bro. It's insane.
exactly what you'd expect. Comedians weren't allowed to ridicule or embarrass the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the royal family, or any religion, and were told to submit set lists for review. So when Burr frames that as progress towards free speech, it just sounds ridiculous. It's like claiming you're expanding free speech while performing under the supervision of a government that imprisons people for using free speech. Like this is the same government that once
Oh my!
sentenced a woman to
What is this? Saudi woman given 34-year prison for reason. So Sama Al Shahab, a Leeds University student, was charged with following and retweeting dissidents and activists. They gave her 34 years just for retweeting activists. Come on, Bill. This whole I helped move a step towards free speech in Saudi Arabia shit. You shouldn't even have said that out loud. You shouldn't even have said that shit because then articles like this are gonna come out. Like you took no step forward at all. You were just there to make them laugh. That was it. You were there to make them laugh and make them sort of whitewash the Saudi government. That's what you were there for. You were there to whitewash and make it look a lot better than it actually is. Because then when they see sort of comedy festivals and big events happening over there, they try to keep you looking over there so you don't look at shit like this. Whether it's Turkey Al Sheikh and what he's doing with boxing and what he's doing with the UFC, just trying to make Saudi Arabia look like this like big new sort of era for them, and then they still do shit like this. That's all you were there for. You were there for the mirage of what the government wants to look like instead of what it actually is, Bill. That's what you were there for. You were not there to push free speech. So I hope you would never say that shit again. Just don't double down on that part, sir. Don't do it.
34 years in prison for tweeting about women's rights, and now they're hosting a comedy festival, one that purely exists because they want to look modern.
Yeah, Bill, there were women in the crowd. Yeah, there were women in the crowd. But apparently there's still some things that they don't have rights on, and apparently when you speak about that, you get 34 years in prison. So those women in the crowd, I wonder how many of them would like to speak up about things that are happening to them that they are not okay with, but they can't, or else they will go to prison. Hey, you moving free speech in Saudi Arabia, Bill. You leading that crusade. You are leading that charge, brother.
To the West while still silencing their own civilians. So yeah, when Bill Burr talks about how the festival was a positive step, it's hard not to roll your eyes, because what it actually was propaganda. And he walked right into it. And then just to make things worse, he actually throws another comedian who performed there under the bus, after mentioning that she was openly gay, which the Saudi government probably didn't even know until now, even if she was open about it publicly elsewhere.
Why would you do that? Especially with that government? Are you out of your fucking mind? You literally put her life in danger by saying that shit. What is wrong with you, dude?
In 33 years of stand up, I've never seen anybody with bigger balls. And I'm not going to say the name of the comedian, even though you're going to figure it out, but I'm just trying not to get anybody else this fucking shit coming at him. Went on over there, openly gay. And in the middle of the set, two of the diplomats got up to go to the bathroom, and this person said, "Hey, where are you going? Are you going to go on Grinder?" I mean, I've seen them all. I've never seen anybody. It's like I don't have the balls to say that. And the fact that her own people came at her and all of that, it's disgusting.
Well, the fact that they're gay and they're going to go perform for a regime that criminalizes homosexuality, it's easy to understand why people would feel some sort of way. Like, if you can't understand why, I'm like, why are you going to go entertain a regime that would throw you in prison or even kill you just because you decide to like somebody of the same sex? And not look at that and be like, wow, like that's another form, like you're trying to whitewash that government. Like, why would you like, you can't sit there and say it's sickening. Like, I understand why they would feel some sort of way. And the fact that you're not in, like, trying to empathize and figure out, like, hey, like, why are you an openly gay community going to a regime that if you were openly gay over there would kill you? Why are you performing for them and making them look a lot better than they actually are? Got putting on this display like, look, we got these events, we got these all types of things. Women can drive. Saudi Arabia is in a new time. No, they're not. They're still the same. They just got a new coat of paint. And you can't understand why people in their own community, because I don't know the community he's talking about, that people in their own community feel some type of way for you trying to perform for this government and help whitewash them. Like, you don't understand why they would feel that way. Okay, Bill. Okay.
Um, it really is. That's what they're going to clip. That's what they're going to clip. Bill says,
You can't keep saying they're going to clip this, and then there's people who actually hear what you have to say, and they just still don't agree with the bill. You can't play that card. You can't critique the people you critique who play that card and then be the person that next plays that card. You can't do that.
fucking the reaction to da-da-da is this. And I'll tell you what else is amazing and really confusing to me is what we did over there wasn't even on TV. However, what everybody's complaining about was on TV the week before on a different event, and nobody said anything.
It had to be on TV for people to actually give a fuck about this. Who cares that it wasn't on TV, Bill? That's not the My man, you know that's not the point. What are you doing?
So, and that's the difference between being a billion-dollar conglomerate and being an independent contractor.
And so he was trying to say that they were pushing boundaries there, trying to take
No, you
credit
weren't.
for being part of some brave culture.
You weren't pushing shit. You weren't pushing a goddamn thing except the idea that Saudi Arabia is evolved. That's the only thing. You weren't pushing any changes. You weren't pushing any culture shifts. No, the fuck you weren't. You were pushing an image that they wanted to portray. That's all you pushed. Stop, Bill. Just stop it.
Cruel moment, but in reality, all he did there was potentially put her at risk. Because again, this is a country where being gay is literally punishable by death. But anyways, Bill Burr goes on to shift the blame onto other people who performed there a week prior. Almost like he's admitting that he knows what he did was wrong, but he possesses an ego that's too big to take any real responsibility for it.
It's kind of like, if you go back to like, I don't want to talk anymore about it, but like I said, like I would love to answer all of this stuff. I'm not afraid of any of these questions. I would love to answer them.
Then answer them. Like if you're not afraid to answer these questions, then answer these questions. Like I don't understand.
Oh, it's just that the way that it is being used, and my favorite thing, I did a couple of sets last night, and I didn't run into any of the special ones when I was down there, but I'm really looking forward to that when I do. Because I know this is how this shit goes down, Yada, yada, yada is said over here. And then when you run into the person face to face, this is what's always said. Hey, man. Hey, man. Hey, man. How's it going, man? Just checking in on you, man. Are you doing okay, man? That fucking bullshit. That phony ass bullshit. But I'm not going to lie to you. How do I put this? Do you know when you just sort of, no matter what the behavior is, but you just know a person, so you just expect it, so it doesn't bug you? That's kind of how it is. So I sort of expect that. And, oh my God. Do you know what I did yesterday to fucking calm me down for the amount of bullshit out there? The fucking roast jokes that I wrote yesterday. It was as an exercise. I had a real good time doing that. Okay, but I will toe the line that the reason that
So overall, in this whole podcast, he comes across as pretty arrogant and wildly out of touch. Like the guy who used to tear apart hypocrisy and ego is now embodying both. And no matter how many jokes he tries to write to calm himself down, or how many times he says people are twisting his words, it doesn't change the fact that he willingly performed for a regime that kills, censors, and terrorizes its own people. And the cherry on top is him trying to laugh it off. And just remember, guys, that this comes just 1 week after he justified his performance there based on the fact that the city of Riyadh had a McDonald's and a Wendy's, which, according to Burr, automatically makes them the exact same as any other Western society.
And we're driving around, and then I'm just like going like, I thought this place was going to be like really tense. And I'm thinking like, is that a Starbucks?
So you had an idea of what a regime or a country that you've heard about and you know about would be something else. Just because they have a fucking Starbucks, I'm pretty sure Saudi Arabia has a McDonald's. Saudi Arabia is very capitalistic. They believe in that a lot. So the fact that there's like big national chains over there is not really surprising. You'd be surprised how many countries have a fucking Starbucks. What did you expect? Did you expect like a war torn sort of like I'm trying to figure out what he expected from this shit.
Next to a Pete's Coffee, next to a Burger King, next.
Oh, okay. So big corporations are global, like McDonald's, Starbucks, Burger King. They're global. So you're what did you think Saudi Arabia didn't have this shit? Like what the fuck are you what?
Next to a McDonald's, next to a Pizza Hut.
See, I said fucking McDonald's. So food chains are global. So you're surprised that Saudi Arabia would have them. Like I don't. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck he's trying to say by naming that. Oh, they got all these like corporate things over here. They got like national food chains and different other name brand shit. Duh. What the fuck did you think they had over there? Like I'm so confused.
next to a Dunkin' Donuts, next to a Krispy Kreme, next to a Cheesecake Factory, next to a KFC, next to a Chili's. They got a fucking Chili's over here. Then we go into the mall because I want to get my kids something. There was a Timberland store. I could have bought Timberlands like I was in Brooklyn, New York. And then there's advertisement for like boxing and fucking Formula One and MotoGP and golf and all of this stuff. And I was like, oh.
Just some boneheaded takes from Bill.
Okay, so they have shit there. Okay. So they have stores. Like countries have. They have stores. Okay. Basically because they have shit there, you would think there would be more. I really don't know what the fuck he was trying to say. I think he was just naming shit that they had over there. I don't understand. He just started naming fucking different restaurants and shit that they had over there. Anyway.
Bonesaw Burr himself that are honestly just destroying his credibility even more so than before. And of course, it's making his fans drop like flies. Like if you scroll down in the comments there, you can already tell how bad this is for him. Like every single one of them is just piling on top of him. So I just feel like out of everyone on that set list, Bill's gonna feel the repercussions of this performance the most. But with that being said, that is it for the video, guys. Thanks so much for watching.
All right. Shout out to that video. That was some good content for American Redact. Always looking forward to another video. Definitely, definitely one of the recurring ones I like to react to. Always funny, always insightful, always delivering the facts. Well, that's it for today, guys. Glad you were here with me watching this. Make sure you click the link in the video to go watch the full-length video on American Redact's channel. Hit a like, subscribe, support his channel, help build them up. Hit a like and a subscribe on this video. Let's build this channel up too. And I'll see you guys next time. Hit that notification bell when I drop another React video, guys. Peace.